Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Alex. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. Today, I'm with Seth.
Hello.
Yep.
It's me again.
Yep. Nathan wasn't able to make it yet again, but, you know, it is what it is.
It's just like a meme at this point.
Yeah, no. He was in the very first one. And
he never existed.
He was in, like, the very first episode and then was never...
It was actually just Alex talking to himself, like, through a voice modulator.
Right. All right, so today we're going to talk about the rising stars, players we think will have a breakout season next year, or just players that we're expecting to be good, or, you know, anything like that.
Good or even better than they were last season.
Yep, exactly.
Just huge improvements.
Yep. And then we have the importance of offense versus defense. On the last episode, or the one before that, somebody commented that we emphasize offense too much and don't look at defense the way we should, which is a valid point.
Yeah, we were talking about, you know, top 10, you know, current players, or it wasn't current, it was like going into next season. That was the thing. And, you know, all of them were really offensive except for, like, Anthony Davis might be the exception.
Right.
And so we're just going to talk a little bit about, you know, offense versus defense, you know, the importance of that and why it's maybe overlooked sometimes.
And then we're going to talk about mental health in the NBA and why that's an important thing. And yeah. All right, so we're going to start with the rising stars. Oh, wait, before we start, thank you guys for almost 400 subscribers.
Yes, thank you.
And thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate it.
Seriously, like, it means a lot to both of us that we actually see, you know, people interacting with what we have going on, you know, people talking. See, like, when we were talking about someone who disagreed with us, you know, about, you know, the offense versus defense type of stance we took, you know, we love that. We love this type of interaction, this conversation. That's what this is. It's conversation.
And we appreciate the feedback and the people watching and enjoying and who keep continuing to watch. So yeah, let's start.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's get into the rising stars. Let's hear, who do you think is going to be better next season? Break out, be even better than they were? Who do you got?
Someone who's become a staple of the Rockets' offense and defense, especially the defensive side, as we've seen, you know, the latter half of the season, was Clint Capella. He has been a huge part of what the Rockets and Mike D'Antoni have been able to accomplish. You know, with Ariza and Mbah Moute leaving, I think, you know, it won't be it is sort of a big loss because, you know, Ariza was a big 3-and-D player, but Capella seems to be stepping up into his role, and he's starting to feel comfortable with what he's doing. You know, he's starting to block shots like Embiid. He's, you know, he's making big plays. He's making good game plays.
Yeah, he's a big contributor. I think he'll average even more points.
Does he still have like the highest percentage? And him like, because he had one like. Yeah, like him and DeAndre Jordan had like the highest percentage just because like Harden would give him like the craziest assists, you know. And that's the thing, not everyone is able to capitalize on those because, I don't know, like Harden and Chris Paul, you know, they're amazing playmakers, but, you know, sometimes a pass might be here, there, you know, do a little behind the back.
Yeah, you got to be ready for it at all times. Like if you play with point guards like Chris Paul and John Wall, you got to be ready for the ball at all times.
Right, they'll smack you in the face if you're not ready.
Yeah, really. That actually happened with Gortat and John Wall.
No, yeah, it was really funny.
Oh, man. All right, so, yeah, he's definitely going to have to take a step up with the loss of Mbah Moute and Trevor Ariza. And, you know, he'll have to be good defensively, too, like he was. So
yeah, I think he's ready. I think he's ready to make that next leap in his game.
One of the, you know, higher-level centers in the NBA.
Yeah, to be a premier center in this league.
You're right.
I really think he's going to be that next season.
Yeah. Do you have anybody else?
Well, we can talk about, you know, someone we've geeked over before, Donovan Mitchell.
We've talked about Donovan Mitchell so many times. We'll just keep it short.
We'll keep it short. Kid's amazing, ridiculous athleticism.
Yep.
And
probably going to average like 24, 25 next year.
No, yeah. Great
All-star.
Great face of this younger players movement in the NBA that we have right now.
The upcoming stars, next generation of superstars, he and like Tatum. That's another guy I was going to mention, but we've already talked about him a lot, so we'll keep it short. They're going to be the future of the NBA, you know.
Yeah.
And they're going to be even better than they were last year. So
yeah, and if you want to hear us talk about those two more, then, you know, go ahead, you know.
Just go listen to our other podcasts.
Yeah, right. Listen, if you want to hear us talk about it more, just go back. We're too lazy to talk about it anymore.
Let's see. I think De'Aaron Fox is a player who's going to have a really good season.
Most definitely.
Because he averaged more points and assists than Malcolm Brogdon did in his rookie year, and Malcolm Brogdon won Rookie of the Year. And then Fox wasn't even a finalist last year for the award, so
right.
that just shows how much the talent
there's a huge talent leap, you know,
Yeah.
and the whole conversation was just like, Donovan and Ben Simmons. Those seem to be the two finalists. When in reality, there were lots of great rookies.
Yeah,
out of
last
this,
year was
class.
a fantastic draft class. This year's probably going to be even better.
And like we said, Tatum, and with De'Aaron Fox, he's just explosive athleticism. His ability to be clutch already is super evident.
Yeah, he's
the amount of game-winning shots he's
like 3 or 4
game-winning, game-tying. It's so
2,
crazy.
3 or 4. Yeah, he's really
the
good.
Dude's insane.
Yeah, so I expect him to average close to 20 next year, make a pretty big leap. He could win Most Improved Player.
I think so. Yeah, he can make that leap like Oladipo and just ascend to another level.
He's probably not going to lead the Kings to close to the playoffs, but
no,
like Oladipo did. But I get what you're saying. He'll have a breakout type year, right?
I'm not comparing.
I know. I gotcha. I'm with you. I also expect that the Lakers' young core, Kuzma, Ingram, and Lonzo Ball. I expect all 3 of them, to become much better playing with LeBron. Like, they're all going to take a leap in their games and be pretty damn good.
Yeah, with the veterans that are coming into that, they're going to get a lot of,
teaching.
Yeah, a lot of teaching, good ideas, know, because, when you're that young, there's no way your game can be as polished as it can be. And with these older veteran players, they really have that know how to score the buckets in certain situations, when to pass, when to shoot, and sometimes those things can get lost on these newer players. But, this new core is already exciting in itself, but to see them being taught by this older generation of, they're superstars, Lance Stevenson, but
do not call Lance Stevenson
yeah, I'm not going to call him a superstar. He shows up when he wants to. That's my problem with Lance Stevenson.
He plays hard. I guess Rondo was a superstar in his heyday.
No, yeah.
Back in the Celtics. Yeah. And then obviously LeBron. Right. So I expect all of their levels of play to increase a ton playing with, obviously LeBron, but he will have the biggest impact on that team, obviously, out of anybody on it. So
and speaking of,
they're all going to become pretty damn good.
Speaking of younger players, I'm trying to remember his name right now. He was on the Cavs. I swear, like, every time LeBron won a game winner, he celebrated. Like, he was the first one to run. I was like, is that white kid?
Cedi Osman.
Yeah, Cedi Osman.
Yeah.
I just love this kid. He's just really entertaining, and he's always hanging around these vets. Like, he's always around.
Did you see the picture?
Yeah, I saw that. It was like Cedi Osman and some fans.
Did you see how big Kawhi Leonard's hands are?
Oh my god!
In that picture, he's like covering the entire basketball.
Like a Slender Man.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
Scary, man.
Yeah, he might be a solid player on the Cavs.
No, yeah, I'm not saying he's going to have a breakout year
exactly.
Yeah. I just like him. I like to watch him play.
Right.
I don't know. I just wish he got some more game time. I think he could be an efficient scorer. I've seen him miss dunks. I've seen him do this and that. But again, he's young.
Right.
But yeah, Cedi Osman, greatest of all time.
Wow. I expect Lauri Markkanen to be a better contributor. I mean, he was already a really good shooter, so I expect him to be.
On him.
Yeah, I expect him to have a pretty solid season, especially because I think the Bulls could make it to the playoffs. Because those 7 and 8 seed are probably going to be up for grabs.
Right. The Bulls are looking like a much better team coming out of this season.
Yeah, they made some pretty good moves in the offseason, getting Jabari Parker, drafting Wendell Carter Jr., getting a second year of Lowry, all that good stuff. So
Lowry's an interesting player.
Yeah.
He's kind of stiff, but I want to see him open up and be a bit more mobile.
Yeah, he's gotten stronger too.
Yeah, that's a good thing as well because, he's lanky. He's kind of like...
He's got to play defense, yep.
Yeah. Oh, did you want to talk about Ingram?
Yeah.
Because I know you're high on Ingram.
Sort of. I mean...
Not super high, but,
He hasn't been who we all expected him to be. He's shown a decent amount of flashes of being good, and I know he can be. I think he just needs to play with a player like LeBron James or another star, for him to really realize, hey, I can be a really good player. I'm not saying he was bad before. He was decent.
No, yeah, he had breakout games.
He was
but that's
pretty
the thing,
good,
it was
but
just
like
breakout games. He wasn't. It's the consistency.
Exactly. He wasn't as consistent as he should be, but definitely playing along all these older players, and with LeBron, he's going to be. I think he'll be their second leading scorer, outside of Kuzma and LeBron.
Yeah,
Ooh, Josh Hart as well.
Yeah, Josh Hart, him being MVP of Summer League.
He was so good in the Summer League. I think he's going to be their starting shooting guard. I forgot to mention him when we talked about the young core, but he's going to be going into his second year, I think.
Yeah, there's so many great young athletes on the Lakers roster.
They're going to be really good.
If I'm guessing most of them are going to be coming off the bench, and that bench is going to be stacked.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to be good right away. It's going to take 2 or 3 years for them to become really good, but they will be.
Yeah,
assuming LeBron can stay.
That's what we're talking
LeBron.
about, is that development.
Yeah. So the Lakers' young core, I guess we'll just all 4 of them, Kuzma, Ball, Ingram, and Hart,
right,
all going to be pretty good. You got anybody else? I'm thinking like Jaylen Brown. He was my pick to win most improved.
Jaylen Brown's been doing great.
He's going to have a big role on the Celtics next season, especially after this past regular season and playoffs. He had some big games, hit some game winners, just explosive athleticism. Everybody on the Celtics is good at
really strong.
passing.
I think what's underrated about him is his strength and his ability to get in the paint.
Yeah, he's a dog too, very competitive. Yeah. So yeah, I think he's going to be a player to keep an eye on. Do you have anybody else?
Terry Rozier.
Yeah, for sure.
Talking about Terry Rozier.
Yeah,
definitely.
After his playoff
improved.
run.
That was ridiculous.
I know, right?
We've talked about how ridiculous his playoff performance was.
It was just all of a sudden he became their starting point
guard. Balling out.
Yeah.
It's just, LeBron couldn't even chase him down for a dunk, and,
Well, he did block him.
He did block him.
In Game 7, I'm pretty sure.
Game 7. No, it wasn't the only play.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I remember that play where he blocked
and LeBron, he sets up those chase down blocks. I don't care what you say. He's sneaking up behind him. It's not like he comes out of nowhere.
Right.
Let's be frank here.
Well, sometimes.
Sometimes, obviously, he's a ridiculous athlete, but I see him and he's like.
I know if Victor Oladipo could dunk that ball in Game 5, like if he could redo that play where LeBron blocked his shot, even though it was a goaltend, if Oladipo could go back and redo that, he would definitely dunk it instead of try and lay it up. So on to the next topic, we've got the importance of offense versus defense. Which is more important, I guess why are they both important, but which one has the edge in today's NBA, and that kind of thing. So what you got?
I think it's hard to, say which one has the edge, considering the current top team right now, Warriors. Sorry. But they have the top offense and one of the top defenses.
Yeah.
And so the combination of that, it just runs over, it just steamrolls teams.
Like same with the Rockets. During the playoffs, they had really great defense and a really great offense.
Something they haven't been known for a while, and they've stepped the game up.
To be a successful team, you have to be a team like the Warriors, the Rockets, the Celtics, where you have to be great on offense and great defensively. You can't only focus on one, or else you're going to get run out of the gym trying to play the Warriors game.
And just watching Harden throw a little hand out as someone just slams it.
He's gotten better at defense.
No, he's gotten way better. Those clips are funny, man.
They are funny.
But he's not even trying. There's an obvious rebound, and he's just watching it.
Right. Yeah. Oh man, that's painful to watch. I know the exact clip you're talking about too. Oh man. But I would say in today's league, offense has definitely been more of a dominant way to play the game than defense has.
Yeah. I think it's been that way for a long time, and no, the only defensive things that people care about for the most part are the really flashy defensive plays, like those LeBron chase down blocks and those ridiculous swats from Shaq and whatnot.
People love to watch offense.
Yeah,
no one really loves to watch defense. You know what I mean?
And people who play great defense, like that one commentator we were talking about with Jimmy Butler, he's one of the best defenders in the league.
Yeah, you got the best two-way players like Kawhi, JB, Clay, a couple of others who are slipping my mind right now, but Right. Those are probably the top 3 of the top 10. Whatever,
right?
Defend two-way players.
That's something we should talk about, and let us know if you'd want this. But maybe a top 10 defensive players going into next year.
Yeah, we could do that.
We could talk about that a little bit, but
yeah.
for now, we're just going to try to keep it concise, keep it short.
Right.
Talk about the importance of both,
right,
rather than just slamming you with defense. Because again, it's not the most entertaining thing. Yeah. It's super important.
It's very important, right?
As we talked about with the Rockets, but just let us know what you feel about that, and we might do something.
Yeah. But, in order to even keep pace with a team like the Warriors, Rockets, or Celtics, you got to be able to defend them and stop them from scoring the ball as much. You can't stop a team from scoring, especially a great team like those 3. But you got to be able to defend the ball. Because if you can't, they're just going to run you out of the gym. And then even if your defense is really good, but your offense isn't great, you're still going to get run out of the gym.
Yeah.
Because you can't score, and they can, no matter what. So
I believe that's kind of the problem with Grizzlies,
And that was the biggest problem in the finals last year with the Cavs and the Warriors, is that the Cavs had next to no defense, and their offense wasn't good either. That's exactly why they got swept. Yeah.
Because you can't depend on just the one. You need both, because if one slips, the other one's got to make up for it.
Yeah, and
if one slips and you don't have the other one at all, then you're just screwed. Exactly. That's how it goes.
At least that's how it is in today's NBA. Because back in the day, when
you could get by,
when the 04 Pistons were mainly a defensive team,
right?
But they also had Chauncey Billups and guys who could score the ball. But their main thing was defense wins championships, and that's why they beat the Lakers 4-1. Was their defense.
What's his name? Who is that catchphrase? First team on defense. Who is that?
I don't know.
So someone remind me who that is. But there was this play where, God, I can't remember his name, but he was laying on the ground because he stopped. I think he got a block or a steal. He was just laying on the ground, like his team scored the ball, and he's like, "First team on defense."
Why don't I remember that?
I don't know. It's one of my, again, favorite just NBA clips. I love snippets like that.
That's hilarious. You got anything else on just on offense versus defense?
Yeah.
I would say offense is more important in today's game than defense, but you cannot be a successful team without having good defense. That's where I'll leave it. What about you? What's your take? Same thing?
Yeah, that's extremely important. And, you can be a good defender without being 6'9" with a LeBron build. You can be a good defender. You just have to think. You have to make concise plays that have a good amount of effort to them, because if you don't, then obviously you're going to fall. You're going to fall flat on your face.
Yep. All right, so that's a good way to switch over to our next topic and the last topic, which is mental health in the NBA. Now, this is a very interesting topic, and I actually really wanted to talk about this because everybody goes through stuff,
Yeah.
Personal friends, family, NBA players. Yeah. Everybody has slumps in their lives.
And I feel like the impression that people have gotten from the recent, Kevin Love thing, he was talking about he had a panic attack.
Yeah.
Panic attack in the locker room. He felt like he couldn't even breathe. Felt like he was struggling for air.
Yeah.
And, with DeMar DeRozan coming out, saying, he goes through his slump sometimes, and he struggles with depression. I don't want to pull that card, something that I struggle with. I can relate, and it makes me feel a lot better knowing that these elite athletes, these stars who just seem untouchable, they have these issues too.
Yeah,
they have these problems, and they go through what they have to go through. But I don't know. It's just sometimes it gets a bad rap. Like, people are asking for records of mental health now,
the owners
coming into
GMs,
next season. And that's ridiculous. Because now people are going to be like, no, I don't want to tell anyone because, this person has a, multiple personality disorder. I don't want them on my team.
Right. It could affect their stock and the trade value and just their value as a player in general, which isn't fair because...
Yeah, it's not fair, but, to a point I get it. Someone who might not understand it, even someone who does understand, they're just trying to play it safe, but it sucks. It really does suck because it's something these players can't control.
Right. And I don't think that they want the records necessarily for a bad reason, so they know not to, trade for them or draft them or whatnot.
A lot of
I just think they want to help the players.
Yeah.
I think each team should have a psychiatrist or a therapist or whatever who these players can talk to about, their feelings and issues and help them tackle their demons and whatnot. I think that's very important for players to be happy, because if a player isn't happy, they're not going to be able to give you their 100%.
Right.
Like if they're not mentally 100% there,
they need
or
that motivation.
feeling well, they're not going to be able to play well.
Yeah, they need that motivation. They need to be in the right headspace, and that's one of the most important things, because if your mind's on something else, you're just like, I don't want to be here right now.
Right.
Obviously, you're not going to play as well.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's important that people look at this as a serious issue, which it is. And some people, I keep saying some people, I do that a lot.
It's a stigma where people think depression doesn't exist.
I say some people, but a lot of people.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is a lot of people who feel like it's kind of a made-up thing in the ether, and it's not a real thing, or it doesn't affect that many people, when it really does.
Yeah,
it really does. And these star players coming out and talking about it has helped a lot, and I think it's helped out other players as well.
Yeah, it's helped other
wow,
players.
these people that I play with, I'm not alone.
Yeah, exactly.
It's probably helped them feel a lot better about themselves and about the league in
exactly.
general.
I'm trying to think of specific players who have since said something since Kevin Love and DeMar DeRozan. I know there have been. I just can't think of any right now.
Right.
But Kevin Love and DeMar coming out and saying stuff about it has really helped other players go and try and get help too, because you can have all the money in the world and you can be rich and famous, but you can still be depressed. Like, you can still get down.
Yeah, it's again, it's a mental disorder. It's not
and millions and millions of not only Americans but people in the world deal with this stuff, and it's important to take care of. And I was watching The Jump today, and they were talking about this. And do you know who Amin El Hassan is?
Mm-mm.
You don't know? Okay. Anyway, he's one of the guys on The Jump who works for ESPN, and he was saying, like, do you think they should treat like panic attacks and anxiety attacks and this and that as injuries, and like hold them out for a game if they're dealing with some kind of mental symptoms?
And I think that's an interesting point to talk about.
Like, should it be treated like a normal injury?
Should it be treated like a normal injury? Now that's when people are like, "Oh man, they're just being babies."
Yeah,
man, and that's
I can
where the
imagine
ridicule
what people
comes
would
in.
say about
No,
it.
yeah, and if they do take that step, God, the backlash is going to be rough.
Right, but that's just for people who don't really get it or haven't experienced it for themselves.
And that's the thing. You don't have to have it to understand or empathize.
Yeah.
And that's what me and other people try to get across, is that you don't have to
have it to
completely understand. You just kind of have to say, hey, I'm here.
Right.
How can I help? And we're not just talking about just general depression, or even clinical depression.
Just mental illness.
Just mental illness in general.
You
Some
feel
people
bad
might
about yourself
have bipolar disorder, and it might show on the court, or it might show in a locker room.
Right.
These things, they need to be addressed, and they need to be not taken care of like it's a bad issue, but they need to be talked about, and then there needs to be a conversation to be had about these things.
Exactly. So back to do you think they should treat it like an injury thing? Do you think players should be allowed to sit out a game?
I think
even
it's
though there's nothing
circumstantial.
physically wrong with them?
Yeah, I think it's circumstantial.
Yeah. It's important for professional athletes to get help, and anybody to get help for that matter, because you can't perform at your elite level if you don't get the help you need mentally, and then you can't go through your everyday life as a normal person, not a celebrity, just an everyday person. You need to get help too, because it's very tough to go through every day unless you get help. So
and so hopefully conversations like this will be had more, especially next season, and through the next seasons, about what can be done, how can things be helped with this sort of disability, sort of a mental illness that some people struggle with. And it's not just the people that are affected by it, it's the people that surround these people, teammates, coaches. They need to be aware.
Right.
They need to know, and but if someone chooses, say, hey, I don't really want to talk to this person about it, or I don't want this person to know, that's fine too, but it should be acknowledged.
Right.
The conversation needs to be an ongoing thing, and how do we address it? How do we fix this? How do we make this better for people in the league, especially some of these newer athletes? Because depression rates, they keep climbing. and there's no real way to I mean, you can't really stop it. You know, there's antidepressants, there's, you know, medications you can take, but it never goes away.
Right. And getting help and talking to somebody definitely helps things, and could help you feel better about yourself and better about just life in general. And it's important to not be afraid to ask for help, especially with these athletes, so that they can do their job and so people can live their lives.
Right. And so, you know, that's the importance of that. I really hope things will progress and things will get much better for players and coaches and everyone else in the future.
Yep.
Especially these younger players.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to leave a like and comment and subscribe. It's the dog days of the summer. There's not a whole lot to talk about, but
yeah, we're struggling with topics.
Yeah,
but you know,
if you got anything, leave it in the comments.
Yeah, people have been really supportive of what we've been doing. You know, people saying new fan. You know,
yeah, we really enjoy that.
Lots of views, likes, and new subscribers, and we really do appreciate it. So, you know, keep up the support. We really do appreciate it, and we see your comments. We see the impacts that you guys are making, and we're just excited, especially for when basketball season starts up, because we'll have a lot more to talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to have a lot more to say, and hopefully you'll stay with us on our hot takes on the season.
All right. See you guys.
Later.